going to tackle about deontological ethics. So first, I just want to read the objectives. Demonstrate an understanding of the basic principles of deontology. Apply the concept of universality and humanity to one's moral experiences. Distinguish moral from other moral theories and identify the strength and weakness of deontology. So, what is deontology? What is deontology? Gajano, in your kuan. So, deontology is derived from the Greek word deon, which means duty. This theory mainly refers to the study of duty and obligation. So, when you try to analyze things based on your duty or based on your obligation, you are talking about the idea of deontology. So, the main proponent of this theory is Immanuel Kant, the German Enlightenment philosopher. So, because of this moral philosophy, naging popular si Immanuel Kant, which is kaning mga moral philosophy na iyahang which is groundwork towards metaphysics of morals, the critic of pure reason, critic of practical reason on 1788, critic of judgment on 1790. So, and according to him, according to Immanuel Kant, kung alam mo paano in-evaluate yung action, you are practicing deontology. So, therefore, you can analyze kung gumawa ka ng bagay na hindi mo ini-evaluate kung ito ba ay tama o kung ito ba ay mali. So, therefore, you are not practicing the idea of deontology. So, what is the purpose of Immanuel Kant? Why he keep telling us about the idea of deontology? Because according to Immanuel Kant, we as human being, we are a rational being or we have our rational will. So, when we say rational, it is we or every individual, every one of us have the ability to think. So, meron tayong malalim na pag-iisip because we are rational. So, nasabtan?
Yes.
Deontology is a normative theory that provides a guide on what ought to be done rather than on describing what kind of person we are, as held by Aristotle and his theory on virtue ethics. This theory also disagrees with consequentialism and believes that action should not be assessed by means of the consequences or result that they bring about. So, in normative theory, there are three parts, which is the consequential, the deontological, and also the virtue ethics. So, when we say consequential is, it's all about, or nakabase siya sa, nakabase siya sa result, di ba? Nakabase siya sa result of your action or the consequences of your action. So, when we say virtue ethics is, it's all about character or naka-focus siya of the well-being of a person. And also, in deontological is, naka-base siya of your duty or of your obligation. Or the other term is nakabase siya of your intention, ang deontology. So, deontology provides a guide kung ano ba yung dapat, na gawin, kung ano ba yung duty mo as a person. Sa halip na i-describe mo yung character ng isang tao according to Aristotle about sa virtue ethics. So, ang deontology, this theory is also against or disagree siya o hindi siya sumasang-ayon about the consequences of your action. Kasi sa deontology is kung ano yung dapat na gawin, kung ano yung tamang gawin because in deontology is don't lie, don't cheat. Kung ano yung tama is dapat yun yung gawin mo. Then, in deontological theory, puts more emphasis on what is right rather than what is good. Diba? Yung sinabi ko kanina. Choices and actions cannot be justified by the good result it was able to produce, even if such action leads to lesser harm or maximize pleasure, certain action will be considered immoral. So, diba sa utilitarianism is nakabase siya of what the result of your action. So, kung mali yung ginawa mo pero naging mabuti sa karamihan, so it is considered as moral. But in deontology is kung ano yung dapat na gawin, kung ano yung tamang gawin is yun yung dapat gawin. Nasabtan. So, I'll give a scenario. So, I have a friend ni Kundi. And then, si Kundi, joining a pageant. Then, walang may susuot si Kundi na heels. Walang may susuot si Kundi na heels. So, I have a good intention na pahiramin siya. Ngunit, hindi ko alam na may defect pala yung heels na ipinahiram ko sa kanya. During her pageant is nasiraan siya ng heels. So, naging, but I don't know na may defect yung sandal. So, I have a good intention na pahiramin siya, but the result is naging hindi maganda para sa kanya. But, I will, mamutanong sa inyo, considered ba na siya as moral or immoral? Moral. Is considered as very good with one thing. Considered siya moral because you have a good intention man. But if bad ang imong intention, then napoy scenario na bad ang imong intention and then the result is makaayo para sa iyaha. So, nain nga na nga scenario. Pero, nag-lead ko sa akong tips. Example. Agani. For example, ang stadium is nakabase man sa intention. So, na may good intention na paniramon siya o sandal may financial magamit sa iyahang budget na kuan. Pero, naging kuan na bad ang result niya tungod kay na daot nga sandal ang imong nakahiram sa iya. Pero nakakapagod kuan. So, makonsider gyapon siya nga moral kay may good intention nga ipakuan sa iya. Pero, ang intention nimo nga pahiramon siya ato kay para mapaulawan siya. So, it is kuan dito siya. Mahimo na to siya nga immoral.
Mali. Mana ka? Is next left alter.
Everyone, I'm Raisa M. Lagulaw, the second reporter of our group. Let's proceed to Immanuel Kant in his model of categorical imperative emphasized that moral law should hold no exemption. Ang pangunahing idea ni Kant ay moralidad ng isang gawain na nakadepende sa mga prinsipyo o motibo na nagpapatnubay sa atin at hindi sa mga resulta nito. Ito ay kaibahan sa mga teorya ng etika na nakabatay sa mga resulta o consequence ng isang gawain. Ang categorical imperative ni Kant ay nangangahulugang kung mayroong isang bagay na mali sa isang sitwasyon, mali ito sa lahat ng sitwasyon. Ibig sabihin na ang pagsisinungaling ito ayon kay Immanuel Kant. Kung baga, ang white lies o pagsisinungaling ng isang tao ay ginagawa sa magandang intensyon. Ngunit ito pala ay maaaring magkakaroon ng kawalan ng tiwala sa lipunan. Let's have an example of this. You and your friends are out on camping trip when suddenly the mother of one of your friends called you and asked if you are with her daughter. So, ayun. It seemed like your friend lied about her whereabouts. If you were to adhere based on categorical imperative, how would you respond? Would you lie or would you tell the truth? So sa halimbawang sa camping trip na ito, kung nagsisinungaling ang kaibigan mo tungkol sa kanyang kinaroroonan, dapat mong sabihin ang totoo sa kanyang ina. Dahil ayon kay Kant, ang kategorikong utos ay nagsasabi na dapat natin gawin ang isang bagay dahil ito ay tama at nararapat, at hindi dahil sa mga posibleng resulta nito. Next. Kant expressed in his work on foundation of the metaphysics of moral 1785 what categorical imperative is according to him. Act only according to such a maxim by which you can at once will it become to a universal law. Ibig sabihin, tayo ay kumilos sa ating mga gawa na maging isang universal na batas na maaaring sundin ng lahat.
Basahan na lang.
So, natoy koan example pa na ang mga tao kaning karaniwan na natin ginagawa yung maligo araw-araw. So, imagine the act of taking a bath in the morning every day. So, ito ay tuntunin na karaniwan ginagawa natin, but then again, it is not something na kailangan sundin ng lahat. Maaaring maligo tayo araw-araw, pero hindi ibig sabihin nun na ang lahat dapat din maligo tuwing umaga. So, question. May question?
Wala daw. Wala.
Additional. Wala. Next report.
My topic is all about universal law. Universal law, according to Immanuel Kant, is an action that must take place every time a certain situation arises. So, sa etika, ang konsepto ng isang universal na batas ay tumutukoy sa ideya na ang mga prinsipyong moral ay dapat na ilapat sa pangkalahatan sa lahat ng makatwirang inalam. Ang konseptong ito ay madalas na nauugnay sa pilosopo na si Immanuel Kant at sa kanyang ethical na teorya na kilala bilang deontological ethics, katong ni-report sa First Reporter. Ayon kay Kant, ang mga moral na aksyon ay mga maaaring inaisin bilang mga universal na batas. Sa madaling salita, ang isang aksyon ay tama sa moral kung ito ay patuloy na mailalapat sa lahat ng individual sa magkatulad na kalagayan ng walang kontradiksyon. Nangangahulugan ito na ang mga prinsipyong moral ay dapat na nakabatay sa makatwiran at hindi sa mga personal na hangarin o kagustuhan. Next. Okay, universal law. Dapat ikuan example sa universal law. Before na ang kuan, matawag na to siya as a universal law na siya ikuan connect sa maxim o opposite maxim. So ang maxim is kuan na siya is your reason for acting. The formula of universal law therefore says that you should only act for those reasons which have the following characteristic. You can act for that reason while at the same time willing that it be universal that everyone adopt the reason for what. So, ang maxim daw is ang prinsipyo o tuntunin ng pag-uugali. So, So, promises are made to be broken. Wala siya ang example sa universal law. So, promises are made to be broken. Pwede ba daw nato siya mag-consider, that maxim example is, pwede ba na nato siya mag-consider as universal law? Dili. Because, if ato siya, di ba ang universal law, if sa universal law is never tell a lie, you must never tell a lie. Kay, once na mo subakon ang universal law is batas man dyan na siya nga, dili siya pwede kwan. Bisan pa, o ganang pagsisinungaling is excuses na, di mo siya ligo na siya nga, excuses na to para sa ato ang reason sa pag, dili gihapon na siya matawag as universal law, pwede na to siya makonsider. Bisan pa, unsay imong rason. Kay what if
Mahal mo siya.
women imagining a hypothetical world wherein such maxim being becomes a law that everyone is required to follow and obey. So promises daw are made to be broken. This maxim, dili na po siya makonsider because for some people, sinusunod nila panuntunan ito at nangangako ng walang intensyon na tuparin ang mga pangako iyon. For it become a universal law, you have to imagine a world where everyone will make promises then break it. So, once na i-consider na to na nga promises are made to be broken, so pwede na siya ginapalog for everyone na di mo na to siyang excuses. So, dili na siya pwede ikuan ang maxim sa universal law. So, opposite maxim is katong promises are not made to be broken. Ang opposite maxim daw ay isang kabaliktaran ng isang kasabihan sa etika, isang kontradiksyon o magkasalungat na prinsipyo o tuntunin. Ito ay kumakatawan sa isang intensyon o tuntunin na labag sa original na kasabihan o direktang sumasalungat nito. Ano siya ang kuan? Pero anong mag-promise man tabi ba nga dili man nato kaya to pa. So dapat once nga mag-promise na, dapat ato nila siyang i-stand. Kaya na to
Mga bae.
panan or kaya na to na siya buhaton.
Mga bae.
Kanang inyo ang mga pagdira na siya consider as universal law kan kuban mga lalaki na siya pwede consider as universal law. Kaya may na mag-promise then basta-basta na lang din nila i-break ang ilang promise. So that's why nga kami po ako ba sa daan sila yung mga trust issues. So di na sila basta-basta musali sa pag-promise kay to.
Promise. Basta ang pramisa.
Na kami mga kuan another examples para mas masaktan pa din yung maxim.
Alas 10 kita mangulihan eh, sabang sa likod. Ikaw ay pinanghalutulan.
Another example.
Wow.
I should cheat on exam to get a good grade. In this example, it cannot be considered as universal law since it shows a negative action. We all know that cheating is not good to apply to everyone because it would be misleading your capacity as a student. If we make the idea of cheating as a universal law, then everyone would engage cheating and it's probably not a good action to take. That's why the basis of determining an action is the maxim. Then the action would be considered as morally wrong because according to the deontology, regardless of the result of your action, or if the intention of doing it is wrong, then it would be considered as morally wrong. Ang maxim is hindi na ito pwede ma-consider as moral action unless ato siya i-opposite maxim which is I should not cheat on exam to get a good grade. Matawag yun siya morally right.
Apit mo man. Ha? Maura? Ikaw ay pinanghulutan ni Kuya. Next.
The formula of humanity is also known as the second formulation of categorical imperative. This is one of the key ethical principles developed by the German philosopher Immanuel Kant. So, formula of humanity is acts that you treat humanity, whether in your personal or in that of others. Diba sa deontological is bisan ang iwang actions or ang imong actions is mali, but makatabang or makalipay sa daghan na tao is means moral siya. But sa deontological is pag right is right, pag wrong is wrong. So bawal bisag mali imong gibuhat as makakuha wrong yapon siya.
Mabae na.
So act shows that you act so that you treat humanity whether in your personal or in that of others, always as an end, but neverly as merry means. Although these means are misunderstood since we always use each other's as means to each other's end. This is unavoidable, however, not to emphasize that he meant by merry ends. We should not treat others in a way that violates their humanity and disrespect their rationality. Actions that treat humanity, dili lang sa imong kagalingon, pati na sa uban. So, always as an end, pasabot, always as an end and never merely as means. Pero sa nabantayan ako sa mga behavior sa Pilipino is always nila gigamit ang merely as means. Pasabot, they are using others to achieve their own goals. It means na bahalag ang action nila mali, bahalag ang action nila mali or tama, basta makuha nilang gusto is mura din na sa means. Nagamit sila. Yun ang place na So, Japan formula of humanity state that act in such a way that you always treat humanity as an end itself and never merely as means. These principles emphasize that inherent dignity and worth of every human being, as assert that we should never use people solely as instrument or tools to achieve our own ends. Instead, we must respect the autonomy and inherent value of every person. The key elements of our formula is treating humanity as an end, recognizing the intersect worth and dignity of every human being, respect the autonomy and right of each person to make their own choice, never treating humanity merely as means, not using people solely as means to ends without regarding their own goals and interests, ensuring that our actions respect the inherent value of each individual. Example. Would be borrowing money. Example ni siya would be borrowing money from a friend upon asking her to leave you some money. You intended to use it buying a cell phone. You told her that you needed the money to pay your credit fee. So, dire pa lang daan sa kanang manghirang pagkwarta ay gusto paliton. Pero, ang higingon ng sa mong amigo is ibayad dito sa tuition fee. So, diraan is ang gigamit niya is merely as means. Kay, di ba, using others to achieve your own goals or interests. Tapos, wala pa dyan niya giingon ang society note intention. So, diraan pa lang is wala niya girespeto. Iyang kagalingon daw girespeto ang iyang yutangan. Na wala niya giingon na wala na intention niya. Siguro para makautang na yun. So, you manipulate her by not with your intention. If only you told her the truth, you would give her the options to make up her mind whether to give you some money or not does make it her choice. Pag diri ka, giingon mo ang true intention nga nang hirap magkwarta is gigamit mo humanity as an end kay giingon mo ang pinod so respeto na yung pagalingon nimo kay wala ka nang ligong. Ikaduha is hatagan pa nimo option ang imong giutangan na maka-desisyon kung pautangon ka o dili. Kung di ka mautangon,
No choice.
thank you. Ay, napaday last.
Ay.
Kant argued that the principle is the fundamental duty that we must uphold in our moral decision making, and actions that by treating others with respect and as end itself, we uphold the moral law and actions accordance with our rational natures as human beings. Thank you.